While the entire F1 world was losing its mind over Lewis Hamilton ending his one-year Ferrari misery with a historic win in Barcelona, a tiny group of investment analysts in Milan were staring at a completely different screen. Within 24 hours of that checkered flag, Ferrari's market value skyrocketed by 2.2 billion euros. But the money guys weren't cheering for a fairy tale driver story, and they weren't looking at the trophy. They were reading a technical reality that the mainstream media completely missed. Hamilton didn't win in Spain because he suddenly found half a second in his pocket overnight. He won because Ferrari quietly connected three seemingly minor components into an engineering chain reaction that completely rewired how the car breathes, altering the entire math of the 2026 championship. To understand the breakthrough, you have to look at the structural flaw that had been torturing Hamilton all season. The Ferrari was a qualifying weapon, but a racing disaster. The car fundamentally ate its rear tires. The moment Hamilton tried to push, the rear axle would slide, the rubber would overheat, and the pace would drop off a cliff. Drivers can't attack when they are forced to spend 60 laps nursing a fragile machine. In Barcelona, the track the entire paddock uses as an engineering ruler, that cliff completely vanished. Hamilton ran a hyper-aggressive three-stop strategy on a track notorious for destroying rubber, starting on the soft compound, maintaining devastating pace, and pulling off a dominant 19.5-second victory margin. The strategy only worked because the car finally permitted it. Ferrari brought an 8-part upgrade package to Spain, but the magic lies in just 3 specific components acting as a unified system. It starts with the front wing, featuring a reshaped nose, new footplates, and altered vanes. An F1 front tire is essentially a massive aerodynamical brick spinning at high speed, throwing back a violent, churning wake of dirty air. This new front wing doesn't just create downforce, it acts as a traffic cop, steering that filthy wake away from the floor and channeling clean air down the side of the chassis. That brings us to part 2, the heavily revised side pods. Ferrari puffed out the shoulders and tightly reshaped the rear coke line, building a highly protected aerodynamic channel. This keeps the clean air flow completely undisturbed all the way to the rear axle, giving the floor stable, predictable downforce. And stable downforce leads directly to part 3, the secret weapon nobody wrote about. Ferrari debuted brand new wheel rims in Spain. In modern Formula 1, a wheel rim is actually a highly sophisticated radiator. Brake heat transfers directly into the metal rim, which then radiates that thermal energy into the tire from the inside out. By altering the rim design, Ferrari completely changed how the tire warms up and stabilizes its inner temperature. Pull on any one of these parts, and the whole chain falls apart. The front wing cleans the air, the side pods protect the channel, the stable floor stops the rear end from sliding, less sliding eliminates surface friction heat, and the new rims keep the core temperature locked perfectly in the operational window. Hamilton wasn't just driving a faster car, he was driving a fundamentally calmer machine that stopped punishing him for pushing. Paddock data suggests this structural fix didn't just yield the 0.2 of a second Ferrari conservatively claimed, it unlocked closer to 0.6 of a second per lap in pure race trim. That track validation perfectly mirrored what happened on Monday morning when Morgan Stanley analyst Edward Orban officially upgraded Ferrari stock to overweight, raising the price target to €380. The market realization rhymed perfectly with the engineering data. Ferrari had been severely oversold based on emotional macro fears, yet its core luxury fundamentals and execution remained bulletproof. The team is no longer flattering only to fail, they are delivering structurally. But a single dominant weekend does not guarantee a title, especially with Hamilton still trailing Mercedes' teenage phenomenon Kimi Antonelli by 41 points. The real test of whether this fix truly travels happens in just 12 days at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Ferrari is unleashing version 3 of its power unit, leveraging the FIA's ADWA rule, which grants extra mid-season development windows to engine manufacturers trailing the top unit by more than 4%. Combined with a bespoke fuel blend from Shell's Hamburg lab, Ferrari expects to bolt on another 0.1 of a second in pure engine performance. They will need every millisecond. Red Bull is arriving at their home race with a massive upgrade package of their own, carrying the benchmark power unit that the entire grid is measured against. Can this newly stabilized Ferrari chassis handle the extreme mechanical and power demands of Austria, or was Barcelona just a beautiful, high-altitude fluke? Drop your technical analysis in the comments below. If you want the deep engineering and financial data behind the grid broken down like this every single week, hit that subscribe button right now and join the Overcut crew. Let's see what happens when the lights go out at the Red Bull Ring.